It's been 6 months since I moved to Paraguay, and it's honestly been an overall positive experience. Some things have been really good, other things have been not so good, and some things I wish I knew before I got here. So, in this video, I'm going to give you an honest review of what it's like to live in Paraguay as an expat or foreigner. All right, let's just dive right in. Here's what I'm going to cover in this video when it comes to my honest review of Paraguay. I'm going to cover cost of living. I'm going to cover safety. I'm going to cover weather. Is it really that hot here? I'm going to cover people and social life. What do they really think about foreigners? I'm going to cover dating if you are a man, and overall just general lifestyle. All right, so cost of living. I've done a video on this about Paraguay. Is it really that affordable? So my take just overall around Latin America, I've lived in 9 different cities, I think 9 different countries, 12 different cities specific to Latin America. And I'd put Paraguay right at the top in terms of affordability. Now, keep in mind, I'm someone who likes to live in the best part of the city and in a nice or respectable apartment. All right. So going by those standards, if you're someone who wants to live in the higher echelon of the city, then Paraguay is going to give you the best bang for your buck. Let's say you go to someplace like Guadalajara, Mexico. Let's say you go to Medellin, Colombia. To live in the best part of town, to live in a nice apartment in that specific area, you're going to be paying a lot more. You might pay up to 2,000 a month USD. Whereas Paraguay, you can get by with like 1,000 for rent, right? And as I said in a different video, for about 2,500 a month, you can live in the higher echelon of the society, right? You can live like a king for about 2,500 a month in Asunción. Not true for every Latin American city, but definitely true for Asunción. So just quick recap from a previous video: high-end areas like Villamora or Recoleta or Las Lomas, you can expect anywhere between 700 to about 1,000 for a studio 1-bed, or 1,200 to 1,500 for a 2-bedroom plus. Okay. Eating out super affordable. You can get most meals for about $5, maybe $10 on the higher end. Transportation is really affordable if you need it. Like if you're in a good area like Villamora, you probably won't need Ubers that much, but whenever you do need it, probably $2 to $4 one-way trip. So super affordable to live in Asunción, Paraguay. Definitely 2 thumbs up there. All right, now let's talk safety. Is it really safe to live in Asunción, Paraguay, or just in the country in general? Now, when you compare it to other countries in Latin America, once again, I put Paraguay right at the top when it comes to safety. Now, keep in mind, I'm someone who feels safe wherever I go. I've lived in Cali, Colombia, which is supposedly one of the most dangerous cities in the world. I lived in Guadalajara, Puebla, different cities in Mexico. I lived in Santa Marta, Colombia, again, pretty up there when it comes to danger. So, and then I lived in like good areas too, like Mexico City. I lived in Lima, Peru. I lived in so-called safer cities, right, in Latin America. And Asunción, to me, is the safest. Whether you're someone who is familiar with travel or if you're not familiar with travel, this isn't an area where you really have to be as cautious as far as like wearing watches, as far as maybe wearing necklaces. I haven't heard any stories from any expat friends getting robbed here. Not true in Colombia, not true in Mexico, but true here. And what else can I add in terms of safety? Now, look, if you're someone who eventually wants to start a family and have kids, I'm a single guy, I have no kids. So I feel like I can live safe wherever, right, if it's just me. But if you're someone who wants to eventually start a family, you can't just think of yourself, or I can't just think of myself, right? You got to think about, like, if you have your wife and or your girl, you're the mother of your children, walking with your children on a random afternoon, can you feel safe with them just going out and about their day while you're going out and about on your day, right? And I can't say that's true for a place like Cali, Colombia, right? Cali, Colombia, after 10 p.m. or after 9 p.m., no one's really walking out on the streets at night, even in the best part of town. I lived in Granada, which is probably the best part of town the best neighborhood in that city, San Antonio, and there's some other good ones, but you can't, like, even there, you have to be very cautious, and it's not really a place where I would feel safe having my woman or my children walking around randomly, right? So you have to think about that. And Asuncion is definitely a place where you can feel safe for that. So for that reason, is Asuncion safe? For me, 100%. For a lot of expat friends, 100%. It's probably one of the more safer major cities that you'll find in Latin America. All right, now let's talk weather. What is the weather really like here? Is it really as hot as people say it is? Depends. I'll just start with my experience here. So August is when I arrived, and that's pretty much the end of their winter. And the day that I arrived, it was actually it was beautiful. The weather was just right. It was probably high 70s Fahrenheit, mid 20s Celsius. It was right. And then the following week after that, it did drop down a little bit to maybe low 50s Fahrenheit, maybe mid-teens Celsius. Okay, so just to give you an idea, that was the weather then, which I like a little warmer. And it got to that warmer weather between September to November, right? So I'd say during the wintertime, it gets more like fall season if you're from the Northeast or a colder climate like Boston or New York. And then during September through November, the weather is on point. It's right around 70s, 80s Fahrenheit, 20s Celsius. Now, where it does get hot, where people start complaining a little bit, is the summer months for Paraguay, which is December through February. Okay. Now, for me, if you're someone who likes heat, if you're someone from like Miami and you're fine with Miami weather, then you'll be good here. There might be a few days out of the year. I'm sorry, a few days out of, during the summertime where it might be too much, where it might get pretty humid, where it's well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit or even 40 degrees Celsius. Those days do get pretty hot. Like even if you're at the pool, even if you're at the pool day, like your feet are going to get burned, right? So that's part of the problem when it's too hot. But it's not that bad. Honestly, it's not as bad as people say it was. I remember when I first got here, people were like, it's intolerable, the heat. And it just hasn't been my experience. It hasn't been super bad like most people say. So again, if you're someone who doesn't mind heat, you prefer the heat over the cold, I think you'll like it here. Just make sure you have an apartment with AC. 100% you need that. Helps to have a building with pool, even though I don't use the pool that much. Only when I have maybe like a girl over or some guest over, I'll probably use the pool then. But have a pool, have some AC. You'll have a really good summer here in Asuncion. And as far as rain, it hardly ever rains here. I've been here 6 months. It's maybe rained about 6 times, 5-6 times max. So this isn't like Medellin, Colombia, where October, November, you're out and about, and you can like 100% it's gonna rain, right? You better bring an umbrella. Here, it's rained about a few times, and I haven't really needed to buy an umbrella. So to summarize, in terms of weather, it's not going to be like Medellin, Colombia, where it's 70s, high 70s all year round, or Cali, where it's like 80s consistent all year round, or Mexico City or Guadalajara, pretty similar climates too, where it's nice. Guatemala has really nice weather too. Here, it does fluctuate. You get a little bit of the season. So if you like seasons where it gets a little cold, call it low 50s during the winter, call it over 100 degrees during the summer, but not all the time. Then if you like the change, then this is going to be good weather for you. If you like consistency all year round, it might not be the ideal place for weather. All right, let's talk people and social life. Is it easy to make friends here in Paraguay? Well, like most places in Latin America, there are some exceptions. People here like foreigners, right? If you're someone from the States, if you're someone from Europe, they're going to find you interesting. They're going to want to get to know you, and they're going to treat you well, quite honestly. There's only been a couple places like where they're not as warm, like a Lima, Peru, or from what I hear, like a Chile. Those are pretty similar cultures. They're not going to be as friendly or as warm. But here in Paraguay, just like Colombia, just like Mexico, like most other places, then yeah, you will get treated well. And the cool part is there is a growing expat scene here. More and more expats, foreigners are coming to Asuncion, mainly and initially, from what I understand, to get the residency, because it's pretty easy to get residency here. I'm going through the process right now. Compared to other countries, it's easy and affordable as well. A lot of people come here for the territorial tax system, where you don't have to pay any taxes outside the country, right? If you're earning dollars outside the country, you literally pay no taxes here, no matter how many months you live in Asuncion, which is incredible. So that alone is amazing. But a lot of people, when they start that process, they end up staying here for a good amount of time. There's a lot of construction here. I can probably do a video right outside my balcony where I can see 2 major apartment complexes going up. And they're all over the city, right? This place is growing. This place is booming. So grow an expat community. You can meet like-minded friends. If you're a business person, if you're in sales, if you're a digital nomad, you can make. And the type of friends that you'll meet here is someone who is either based here or they spend quite a bit of time here. So that's the cool thing too. You'll meet people that are not going to be traveling perpetually every single month. You'll meet someone more here who is stable, who's probably looking to build a life here. That might be you too. Now, and me personally, I'm someone who doesn't really need that big of a social circle, right? As long as I have good projects I'm working on, as long as I have a good dating life, as long as I have a few close friends or friends that I can just talk shop with, talk business with, friends who are actually growing, then that's all I really need. And I'm part of two WhatsApp groups here with expats. That's really all that I need. But like I said, there's a lot more opportunity if you're someone who wants to build a really big social circle or really have a really big social life, specifically with expats or even locals. You can definitely have that here. All right, so now let's talk dating in Paraguay. I think Paraguay is very underrated when it comes to dating. Like, you don't hear many people talking about dating in Paraguay or Paraguayan women just in general. Like Colombia gets a lot of attention, right? Everyone knows that Colombian women are beautiful. Brazilian women are beautiful. Mexican women are beautiful, specifically in Guadalajara. But I put Paraguay right there too. Like if you're someone who likes, and we're just talking physically right now, someone who likes, if you like light skinned, if you like dark hair, brunette, and if you like curvy, right, curvy body, then you're going to like Paraguayan women, right? They definitely make the list. So I feel like they're underrated in that aspect. And also, women here are more traditional and family oriented. So most of the women you'll meet here, no matter if they're in their 20s or 30s, they're going to be living at home most times, still with their parents. So it is more traditional where they usually move out when they find their significant other, ready to start a family, that sort of thing. And in addition to being more traditional, women here are definitely more feminine. They definitely cater to their men. I'll tell you an example, a girl that I'm dating, and also expat friends that I've met here. We've had similar experiences with the femininity here. Women here will definitely, like, once they start to like you, then they're going to cook for you. They're going to clean. They're going to give you massages. They're going to cut your toenails, right? They're going to make sure that you feel like a man and that you feel like a king. And they're going to treat you very well, okay? More so than other countries, I think. I think women here are even more feminine than other places. So that's just been my experience. It's been a really great experience when it comes to dating. If you're someone who likes, again, physically, I've already mentioned that part. But if you like the femininity aspect, being catered to, which what guy would? So Paraguayan women definitely get an A+ in terms of femininity. So if you're someone who's looking to maybe have more of a serious relationship or a girlfriend or a wife someday, I think Paraguayan women are actually fantastic, in my opinion. Now, as far as where to meet women here, if you go on dating apps like Tinder or Bumble, it's going to feel like a small market because a lot of the girls there, not all of them, but a certain percentage of them, will have dated other foreigners and will have probably dated one of your friends here. All right. But outside the dating apps, Instagram is a great place to source new first dates. If you just have a mediocre Instagram, which I'll show you mine, all you need to do is just follow some girls in your city. And then the ones who follow you back, you send them a message and set up a first date that way. That works pretty well here. So just to summarize, I think Paraguay is a great dating market. I think the women here are beautiful. I've met a lot of intelligent women, feminine, friendly, right? If you're a single guy who is in the dating market, then you'll probably have a good experience here. All right, now moving on to lifestyle. So Paraguay is, if I were to categorize it in two words, it's chilled and relaxed. All right, this isn't a huge party scene. This isn't a huge nightlife scene. Yes, that does exist here in neighborhoods like Carmelitas, Centro, Villa Mora, Las Lomas. Like, you'll get a lot of rooftop spots. You'll get some dance spots. You'll get some really nice bars. But it's not really known for that, okay? Contrast that with a place like Buenos Aires, which is, I mean, these places, these clubs don't open up until maybe like 2 a.m. sometimes, and they close at around maybe like 7, 9 a.m. Like quick story, I remember arriving in Buenos Aires and seeing maybe 7 a.m., see people, young people just walking the streets on a random morning. I'm like, why is everybody up so early? And they were literally just coming out of the club, right? That's not Paraguay. All right. So if you're looking for more active and more nightlife, and go to Buenos Aires. The cool thing is you're not far from Buenos Aires. You're just a direct flight, pretty short flight from there. But this isn't that. All right, this is more chill and relax. This is more if you're someone who's looking to build a business, if you want to focus on work, if you want to do some deep work, this is a good place for that, to really just focus. And if you're coming from a faster paced culture, such as the US or Boston, where I'm from, then things are going to be much slower here, right? Not just with bureaucracy, things like getting residencies or paperwork, which I'm going through right now, but also restaurants and maybe brunch spots, right? It's going to take longer to order. It's going to take longer to get your food, to get the bill. It's going to take more time, right, than a place like Boston. So service is a little slower, but honestly, once you adjust to these changes, then life does become less stressful and, in my opinion, more enjoyable. So to summarize, if you're someone who wants to slow down, if you want to find a place that's more chill and relaxed, if you want to grow and focus on deep work, then Paraguay could be a great place for you to base. All right, so final verdict. Would I stay here long term? Guys, after 6 months, I can honestly say that yes, I can see myself here for maybe not all year round, but maybe between 6 to 8, maybe 9 months out of the year, I can see myself living here. And reasons for that is because of affordability, because of weather, which I do like the weather here, because of chill and relaxed lifestyle, because of the dating life that I have here, because of the expat community that I have here. Paraguay is where I see my base, right? Safety is a big reason for that. Ease of residency is another big reason for that. I think for me, a good amount of time would be 6 to 8 months, and then maybe find a second city, or maybe travel during those other 3-4 months out of the year could be my travel time, right? So definitely a good place to base out of, in my opinion. So that's my honest take on living in Paraguay after 6 months. If you're someone who's looking to visit or live in Paraguay, then be sure to leave a comment. Let me know any questions you might have. And if you want more content like this specific to Latin America and what it's like living here, then be sure to subscribe and look out for the next video.